Are you coming down for the 10th anniversary and holding a sixtel over your head with your shirt off?
I mean, I would like to come. I don't ever really want to play that role again. But when Augie's been partying, or he's very persuasive, and I'm
No,
he's
not at all.
Syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody. Welcome out to the log room. It is Tuesday, April 6th, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Twinkie Eater himself, the Beer Samurai.
No, not
Actually,
really.
everything eater himself. He just eats
I can't
everything.
stand these things are awful.
Well,
But it is national.
Why the hell are you eating them anyway?
It's National Hostess Twinkie Day.
It's National Hostess Twinkie Day, as opposed to National Weaver Twinkie Day or National
or
Paper
Little
Mate
Debbie.
Twinkie Day.
What is it? Little Debbie Zingers. What do they call them?
Whatever the hell they are.
But
So
Did
it's
you know it
National
was what?
Hostess Twinkie Day. Why the hell is it Hostess Twinkie Day specifically? Who came up with that?
I did not. I didn't do my research.
You should.
I'm sorry. But what I do know is that the Twinkie, the Hostess company, was saved by what? Pabst Blue Ribbon, right?
PBR,
Pabst
yes.
company, yeah.
PBR, yeah.
So thanks to Pabst Blue Ribbon for bringing back these
Mm-hmm.
everlasting.
Gobstoppers?
Yeah, right. Oh, that'd be cool. No, I think that Cadbury does those, don't they?
I believe they do, yes. Cadbury does
Anyway.
most of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, yeah.
Yeah, this was Charlie
it is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, yeah.
But we've got another big day today.
Yes, another big day today. What is that?
National Speed Limit Day. No, it's not National Speed Limit Day. That would be, sorry, making fun of my brother here. You got to troll your older brother. It is my brother's birthday.
Happy birthday, Brian C. Schoen. Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, bro! If you're listening, if he might be out to some fancy and swanky dinner right about now.
Yeah, well, that would be par for the course. I hope so. I hope he's doing something for his birthday anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Well,
not just sitting home listening to us. I mean, seriously, that's not a birthday present.
We're both in plaid. Look at this.
Yeah, look at that. Well, yeah, kind of, sort of, ish.
Ish, your hat.
Yeah, I know. And what's on my hat? What is that?
That's a ton of BS.
Stand for bullshit? What does that stand for?
Yeah, it does. Oh no, that stands for Bolero Snort, I believe.
Bolero Snort. Why does it stand for Bolero Snort?
Because we have none other than, stealing your line,
No.
Scott Wells on the show today.
Scott Wells on the show. There he is, right there.
There he is, man.
There he is, right there. Let me put up his moniker. Scott Wells, Chicken Parm Taster and White Russian Master Mixologist. There he is.
There he
I'll
is.
take it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Loving
Actually,
the hat.
here's the right one. There you go.
It was more accurate the first time.
I was going to say. How the hell are you, Scott?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Pretty peachy.
How do you wear these things all the time?
Yeah, why not?
Flannels? Comes
Yeah.
with the job.
Oh, you also have that extra layer of fur that I don't.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so I got to take this off. It's getting a little too warm. But
That was more information than we needed to know.
I'm still
Dave.
Bolero decked out.
you going through menopause or?
Menopause? Yeah, probably.
There you go.
I'm about
menopause,
that. Yeah, menopause. Right about that age.
There you
You might be a little bit beyond that age, Dave.
Wish.
go. Just a bit. So I hear some kids in the background there. How's
Hopefully just one.
Well, you're the other one in that house, right?
There you go.
There you go. Oh, you got a comment here. Oh, look at this. Brian says, "Good morning, gents."
Morning.
What's going on,
Good
Brad?
morning, Brian. Apparently he's
morning.
in Australia right now.
Yeah, apparently.
And Matt Patensky, Bolero Snort, an anagram of Robert Olson. There, it saved you the time,
Which
Scott.
is now something I don't have to get into
You
today.
don't have to go through
Thank
that.
you, Matt. I appreciate
All
it.
right,
And
so
in true Matt Patensky form, he spelled Olson wrong.
he spent Olson. Yeah, it's an O.
He did. It's
Instead
an
of an E.
anagram. It drives me absolutely
So that would
insane
be
when people
that would be
understand that it's an anagram. You
that would
still
be-
get it wrong.
That would
Remember
be
these, Scott?
that would be Bolero Sneert.
Snert.
Ah,
Remember
God,
these?
man.
Remember these, Scott?
Yeah.
I still have one of those somewhere.
How old are these things?
Yeah. Pretty
It's
old.
at least 5 years.
At
Oh,
least.
jeez. At least
Something
5
like
years.
that.
Somewhere in there.
How many stolen tin tackers do you have behind you, Dave?
None of them were stolen.
I don't believe you at all.
The victory one is not actually tin. That's cardboard. So
Yeah,
that
well-
one I think is stolen. But the Rodenbach I won at Cloverleaf.
There you go.
Brooklyn Forget where I got that one from.
Did I get it to you?
there's a bar somewhere that's got a very odd circle in the wall.
Yeah, really.
Slightly less greasy than the rest of the bar.
I used to have a ton of Tin Tackers. They're all gone.
Just shaking people down for them. They weren't part of the insurance claim.
No. Well, where was I going to get them? They're gone.
I just heard a beer open, so I'm opening one too.
Yeah, I mean, I've had enough of this conversation. Let's just.
Yeah, let's drink.
What do we all drink in our first beer?
We're all drinking the same thing, aren't we?
All right, there.
Here we go. Right
is.
there.
It's called the Lager Room, so I figured I'll have
We'll start with a lager.
lager.
He's obviously never watched the show. We never drink lagers in the show.
I barely ever drink lagers, except for around.
Yeah, but you know what?
Oktoberfest or whatever.
It's rare that we make something that I'll actually have more than one of.
There you go.
So.
And
You mean you don't drink a lot of the fruited sours?
Yeah, you know what? It's really all I drink at this point, but I'm certainly not drinking more than one on most of them. Dave, I don't know if you realize, but the logo matches the business card that you put up.
it does
Yeah.
very closely, except that one's got a bat.
Well, I mean, this was the rye version of it because we're about variants all along.
Actually, I think I got that card the day I first tasted this beer.
Much to Bob's chagrin.
Yeah. Cheers, gents.
So
Whatever part of his. Yeah, do you remember? Recognize this glass?
yeah, look at that guy. That's a blast from the past.
That's an old one. I think I got
Dave,
that.
hold it
the same
back
day,
up.
too.
Everett's very curious, and Everett wants to see. Look,
See this
there,
one,
there
Everett?
you go. There you go.
At the backside, what I like about the backside. Hi, Everett.
Everett, what
What's
are
up,
you
Everett?
drinking?
What are you
Show
drinking?
them
Everett?
what you're drinking.
You got a Bergen County Stout.
He's
Ah,
drinking-
there we go.
He's drinking.
It's
There
a
you go.
lager.
It's a lager.
It's a lager.
Get out of my bitch.
It's a crispy boy.
There you go.
It's a crispy boy.
Crispy boy. There you go.
Boy. Stop it.
I might give him the earbuds because it's going to be a way more entertaining show if I do.
There you go.
More than likely.
Brian says he's drinking a hoofa that he may have stolen from the brewery on Friday.
Yeah, I think I already heard about that.
There you go.
Yeah, he's was he taking his dividends early?
Apparently. And Matt's drinking a cow of silence.
Yeah, boy.
That he did not steal from the
That
brewery.
he did not steal from the brewery. And Brian said no ryeing is delicious.
Oh, there's no comment in there.
There's no rye. No. Yeah, there isn't. So,
Mm.
anyhow. So, how is everybody on this fine evening?
Me, I'm good.
Dave?
I'm fine.
Everett?
Everett is great with noodles sticking out his face.
There you go.
Noodles.
Noodles.
And you held a pupper up early. What's the pupper's name?
That particular pupper just stole some of the noodles.
There you go.
This one here, come here. Here, you little gremlin. My lovely assistant is handing her over. This is Susie Greenberg,
Hey, Susie.
Yeah, that's
and the other one, who's missing right now, who's inside.
true.
Provolone Parmigiano Reggiano Wells is currently inside the
Parmesan,
house. He's-
provolone, Parmigiano Reggiano. There you
He's
go.
he's in the green room, waiting for his moment to
There
come
you
out and
go.
make a debut.
There you go. Awesome. That's great.
My noodle was
That is a
on
great
the-
name. That is an awesome name.
You know, when we got this one,
Mhm.
what is she, 9?
Yeah.
We got this particular little beast with a heart of darkness on a very rough day. We lost a friend of ours that day to a very, very, very rare cancer.
Oh, jeez.
And we were in the process of moving, and we had an appointment to go see this thing at 8 weeks and see if we wanted her, but we couldn't get her yet because we hadn't moved. And my wife, my then girlfriend, not even fiance, goes to see the dog that she couldn't get, and we all knew how that was going to go with a emotional difficulty type of day.
Sure.
So we get this thing that we knew was some sort of dachshund, and that was it because she was a rescue. So she's named Susie Greenberg Millhouse Wells because Susie Greenberg is a fish song, and my buddy who died, his nickname was Millhouse, so it was a tribute to him.
There you go.
And then about a month later, all we knew is she was a very long dog. I'll display the length of this particular
There you go.
maniac.
That
She was a very, very angry long dog. And then one day the ears go up, and we said, well, shit, we've got a Chihuahua.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
a chihuahua.
And she's just a very, very angry little aggressive thing. And then when we decided to get another dog, we went for contrast. So we went with a white dog. And my wife says to me, well, I'm telling the story, thank you, but if you'd like to jump in.
It's a rat terrier.
It's a rat terrier mix. That's right. He's a rat terrier
Rat terrier
mix.
There you go.
And when we got him,
We may have a
Monique
new
says,
producer.
I think so.
the rat terrier mix
No.
or him.
Everett.
You can have him.
Everett.
Yeah.
$50 a day is all yours.
There you go.
So,
Brian, you
hey,
got
John, he might
competition.
actually make you be on time.
There you go. Right.
This could work out.
Yeah, I
So,
can't do
my wife says, well, if we're getting another dog, we can't just name him, something simple, because this one's Susie Greenberg Millhouse. So drunkenly, we decided he was going to be Provolone Parmigiano Reggiano, just for parity's sake.
There you go.
Gotta love it.
And that's where we ended up with the dogs. And now that our family has grown by one, and I have a dog, and Monique has a dog, someone else wants a dog.
Uh-oh.
Would that be Everett?
And I keep telling him he can get
No,
a dog.
Provolone
as soon as
Parmigiano
there's a
wants a dog.
vacancy. And we're lucky that he doesn't understand that one yet.
There you go.
Don't kick the table.
So,
Ah.
so how are things in Carlstadt, New Jersey?
Can't complain. So, obviously we opened up the brewery there just over a year ago. We had a whopping almost 2 full months of having a tasting room.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that
right?
was kind of cool. And then March happened, and that wasn't really cool. All right, sit back. Maybe Mama can help me out here. Maybe. Can you be like an assistant producer and keep the producer in check?
You mean Saint Monique?
Hi, Monique.
Don't. She can't hear you, and don't encourage her.
So a whole 2 months you had, and then that was the end of that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
So, but
We just I think you guys have both been in the tasting room, probably walking through at some point over the past year. Maybe not you, Dave, because you disappeared up into the wilderness.
No,
But,
I just missed you by about an hour this
something like
Friday.
that.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So in the tasting room,
We were up on the for the soft opening.
I'm talking about since COVID happened.
Oh, since COVID happened. No, I haven't been up there. No.
I've
Yeah,
probably
the
been-
tasting room just became a hallway to get to the restrooms because we really didn't plan for a pandemic, so you have
Sure.
to walk around the entire building to get to
Sure.
the restrooms. And we had a nice big chalkboard that was our events board. And the next event that was coming up when we closed the tasting room down was Pi Day 3/14 last year.
Mhm.
So I was determined to make sure that event that had stayed on that chalkboard for a year was going to actually happen. So sure enough, Pi Day was the next time that we used the tasting room 2 weeks ago.
That's great.
So we finally got people back in there. It was nice to get the video of Darth Vader in flames back up on the TV. Things starting to feel a little bit like normal again.
There you go.
was
I mean, we
actually,
have a whopping 12 people in there now. It's great.
got to the brewery for the Pi Day weekend.
Yes,
Yeah, how
you went,
was
you
it?
did.
That was good. It was Brian was there.
Mhm.
I'm sorry to
About-
hear that.
Okay, he was already 3 sheets in by the time I got.
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure my daughter and her boyfriend were there too. So I was not.
nice.
There you go. But
John doesn't make public appearances anymore.
I don't know. I just sent my daughter and her boyfriend.
just at
That's
burning,
right.
just at working fires.
Here you go. Yeah, Matt said he was Bolero's one of the breweries he stopped at on his last day last day before quarantine started. His last day.
Which
Okay, so he's
I know
going
he's talking about.
going to bad grammar. Okay.
I remember because I was there when you were there, Matt, and I was supposed to be away. That was Hoonipoot weekend, and Mark and myself,
Yep. Yeah. it
we
was.
flew down Thursday. Hoonipoot was supposed to be Friday this year, so we flew down Thursday. Had an event Thursday afternoon. Got absolutely hammered when we got the call that it was canceled. So we continued getting hammered. Pulled a hookup and got us some free tickets to Disney World.
There you go.
That the next day we woke up, we heard the rumors that Disney World was closing. We're like, well, shit, let's book a flight and get home instead. So instead of being, in Tampa or Disney World over the weekend for a nice 4-day weekend, I just went home and went back to work.
There you go. And then everything shut down. And that was
And then everything shut down.
There you go. So.
We make plans, God laughs.
I believe I think we shut down a week before we were required to, if I remember correctly. Because I'd made the decision Saturday morning of that week that we were calling it a day on Monday. We were just going to get through the weekend, and everything was still going. Every hour the world was changing. I remember that week well.
Sure.
Tuesday of that week was my birthday. We were still comfortable enough at the time to go out. We went to Segovia up here in Oakland, and we were joking at dinner, it's cool to be in a restaurant, but I don't know about this silverware. I don't know if I really want to touch this.
Really, yeah.
Can I get a straw with my beverage? It was a little awkward. And I think it was earlier that day, just looking at how things were changing so dramatically. And probably everyone who's watching this right now has heard me tell the story already, but here we are. Just looking at the scope of what was going on, how things were changing. I got a little nervous for business and called Eric Orlando, who's the executive director of the Brewers Guild in New Jersey. Said, we're kind of in deep shit here. We got to get on the phone with the state and ask for home delivery. And Wednesday would have been the 11th. We called on Wednesday 11th, and they laughed in our faces. Yeah, we're never going to allow home delivery in New Jersey. And that's kind of how rapidly things were changing. Wednesday we got laughed at. Thursday, much to my wife's chagrin, I was still comfortable getting on a plane and going to Florida. Friday, got home, and she didn't let me in the house until I decontaminated myself in the garage.
What'd you do? Scrub yourself with steel wool and bleach?
Yeah, basically. It was like a scene from... I'd say it was like the scene from Shawshank, but it was really more like the scene from Super Troopers, because it was definitely powdered sugar, and it was delicious.
That's funny.
So... got in the house and, called it a day that weekend. And Monday, which I believe was the 16th, Monday, we got the call from the state and said, well, shit, start doing home deliveries. Okay, get back over there. So, that's how rapidly, nothing in New Jersey government has ever changed
so quick.
That fast. In less than a week to go from absolutely not, that's insane, that it will never happen.
Within 5 days to no to yes. Just like
that was, thank God. I'm sure most of my peers would agree that was a lifesaver for whether or not you want to say it was a lifesaver for the business. COVID hit and it was insane all around, and it kind of became figure out your brewery fast.
Right.
Stop putting beer in kegs because there are no bars. Figure out, what you're doing with the kegs. And it was funny how in March into April, people were coming down to the brewery like, we're here to pitch in. We heard you've got some extra kegs. Can we buy them and take them to our house and drink them? Yeah, here, have the kegs. But we were, obviously very lucky that we have a big, strong, robust canning line that was designed for future growth. And we were able to, kind of keep up with the cans and keep up with getting the cans into the building, which has been, a little bit interesting along the way. And just watch how things changed so dramatically over those first couple of weeks. And then, kind of tie the story back together. I think it was second week of April, we got a call and we're like, well shit, we didn't realize when you guys asked for delivery, you meant for breweries, and no one likes breweries in the States, so you got to stop delivering.
What?
Pardon? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it stopped briefly. I remember that.
Yeah, it was an 8-day stop because they never intended for breweries to be able to do it, apparently. It was a miscommunication between the governor, the AG, the ABC. And I remember the day we thought we were getting it back. Murphy's going to make an announcement today. There's going to be a press conference at 11 o'clock. We're all sitting there like a bunch of schmucks watching this press conference while he's going over all these other nonsense things. And then, 20 minutes in, he's like, oh, and by the way, breweries can start delivering beer again. We're like, oh, we never actually stopped, you jerk off. So, yeah, it was a fun couple of weeks. It was,
Great. Gotta love it.
You learn a lot about your business really fast. And the funny thing about home delivery was, while it helped all the breweries, it certainly, at least for us, kept people employed. We had this brand new tasting room team and people that were dedicated to doing tasting room, and we didn't have a tasting room anymore. And they converted real quick to, running our e-commerce business and figuring out how to track orders, ring up over the phone, and do. We basically turned into a pizzeria with beer overnight. It was absolutely insane how we were And thank God for Tim, who'd worked at a pizzeria before, because we never would have figured out how to do it.
That's great. That's great. Here you go. There's a couple of comments here. Gene said he was there on March 13th, 2020. Rather fitting, he said.
Yeah, 13th, I think, was that Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Which is Friday the 13th. We were joking that, Huna Poo being on Friday the 13th was kind of letting some sort of juju out. And sure enough, here we are.
There you go.
And I believe, Gene, that was the Friday that we had we had a charity event for Mr. Ziegler's family.
Well, that's what Brian said. The last place he went before the lockdown was to Bolero for Mike Ziegler.
Brian, I would believe the only place you've been before or during the lockdown was Bolero.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Ziegler said, Scott Wells, you make a great Tony Keith.
I don't know who that is, but
I'm pretty sure
it's insulting. And
I'm pretty sure he meant Toby Keith.
Toby.
I'm just guessing that a spell check changed the B to an N. That's my guess, but
With the spell check error.
It was a spell check error. Yeah, maybe that's what Matt's problem is. Maybe
No,
spell
You
check.
go in the fridge
Matt
and
has
find Daddy another one of these cans.
No.
Matt has Sasquatch fingers. That's Matt's
Oh,
problem.
Sasquatch finger.
That would have been really cool for my call if that had worked.
There you go.
Can you go find another one of these in the fridge?
Yeah, but.
Yeah, but not now. Okay.
Yeah, but not now. Sure, but like tomorrow, Daddy. All right. All right.
Okay.
So we got there. You go. See that? Mike just said it. Toby. Yes, I knew it.
There
It
we
was-
go.
It was not Tony Keith.
And
It was
I
Toby.
still don't know who
Keith.
the fuck we're talking about.
Toby Keith, Red Solo Cup, country singer. No, you don't know Toby Keith.
Yeah.
I wear the hat ironically.
There you go.
Ironically.
All right. Ironically.
Who knew you were a hipster?
Who knew? Who knew? Well, I got a couple of questions here for you. The first one's an important one. When did you first realize that you liked White Russians?
Oh God. Picture it. Long Beach Island, circa 2013.
Not Sicily. Not Sicily.
We used to rent a really, really fantastic shore house in Loveladies with a bunch of friends of ours and going on this house with a handful of couples, mansion of a house on the beach in Loveladies, jacuzzi on the roof. And we're hanging out one day and Lebowski just happens to come on. What are you doing? Lebowski's on in the first 5 minutes. You're watching Lebowski.
Mhm.
So Evan,
Wait a
who's
second.
one of my best friends who does our insurance and best man at my wedding, just disappears. No one noticed that he disappeared until he came back with vodka and Kahlua. And it was probably like the second or third time I'd had a White Russian, but drinking a White Russian while you're watching the movie
Special.
kind of like gets you. He did go in the house and did not come back with a beer.
He
Okay,
looked. He
all right.
looked. He didn't see it. That's all.
You did your best.
He
You
tried.
did your best,
He
and
tried.
I appreciate it. I'm
All you
proud
can
of you.
ask of him. All you can ask of him.
Okay,
So
so
it
so
was
you have to run me
coming up on
through
20
it.
years.
How much vodka do you start with?
You know what? Why
He's
don't you have
making a White
another
Russian.
lager? Because when I'm done with this, I will go and make. First off, that's not the appropriate glass. What do you?
Oh no, I'm using this.
That's.
You want me to go get? You want me to go get a DOF?
Do you not have a rocks glass?
Of course, I've got a rocks glass.
We'll go inside in a minute and do a White Russian training. But whatever you're about to do, how are you supposed to measure in that thing? Like
I trust you to guide me.
There you go.
I couldn't. I mean, I have that glass and could not tell you the appropriate.
Okay, I will get a rocks glass for when we're ready for that.
When we're ready for that, open another.
But I'm
open
hungry.
another lager.
It's going to be
There you go.
soon because my kid came back without a beer. So,
There you go.
But I'm hungry now.
You're hungry now.
what
so.
are we eating?
What do you think we're eating? Okay, you need to explain. There is a particular way you like your chicken parms.
Oh, that's not necessarily true. I just like them to be good, and
Yeah, that's the particular way he likes them. Good.
it's they got to be good, but it's got to be. There's a chicken parm sandwich. There's a chicken parm entree. Those are two different things from two different places.
Sure.
Very, very seldom are they the same
I
place.
can't need the red chair.
Yes, I can hand you the red chair. I'm multitasking, folks.
Look at that. Oh, that's great. Absolutely. That's the important part. We got a couple. Let me catch up on some of these comments really quick before you continue with your chicken parm lesson.
I will eat while you keep going.
There you go. Mike
Shocking.
Ziegler said, "You uncultured swine," and then Matt Patensky said, "Toby eating parms equals Tony." There you go.
Fair. You know, the shirt I'm wearing right now actually features both myself and Mike Ziegler.
And Mike, there you go. There you go.
Mickey Mouse.
So
Okay. And then Mike said, "See, you get my comedic genius. Thanks, Matt."
If nothing.
And,
I can't believe he spelled comedic right.
he did spell comedic right. Look at that. And then he said, "How you like your chicken parms?" I'm sure he was referring to that. That's what he said.
I can't just use my eyes. I have to be a camera.
Or when I said it looks like either Mike or myself.
Right. And he said, like he likes his hair. There you go.
There it is. There
All
it
right.
is.
So those are the comments. We're caught up now. So anyway,
I'm so happy we caught up on those.
well, it's like they're firing it. Matt
let me
and Mike
tell
were
you,
just boom,
I
boom,
don't
boom, boom,
know
boom. So
what we would have done without those comments, John. Like, where would the show go?
where would it go?
We just would have droned on, boring.
Well, I figured-
Until we got to the White Russian level.
there was. I really wanted to get the Toby eating parms equals Tony. That was pretty funny. So, and then it went from there. So I just commented. But anyway, all right. Let's get down to some real beer talk here. Where did you first meet Mr. Olson?
There was a piece of my sunglass stuck to my nose, and you guys didn't tell me.
I didn't even see it.
Is that what that was?
I used to work retail.
Had a
I was
mole.
a general manager for a local retailer.
Yes, you were.
And on this one fateful day, I happened to actually be doing my job and was standing at the front of my store, not sitting in my office. And I see this fat guy walking around with a Bolero Snort shirt. You know, obviously unbuttoned. Clearly
Obviously.
unbuttoned.
Clearly.
And I'm like, hey, fat guy, where'd you get that shirt? Because that brewer's not open yet. And he was like, oh, I own it. And I believe that Friday was the launch party at Coppermine. Rest in peace, Coppermine.
Sure.
And I just got talking. At the time, my wife was bartending at a couple restaurants near where we lived. And I was helping the guys that own those restaurants kind of cultivate their craft beer lineups at the bars.
Mm-hmm.
And after a couple minutes with Mr. Olson, I realized he needed a little bit of help and kind of helped guide a couple of bars into carrying Bolero. And that fateful day was that fateful day, and that's how it all began.
And that's how it all started. There you go. That was right when he. That was the launch party. Yeah.
That was I think it was Friday of that week was at Coppermine, and then Tuesday was Cloverleaf, and then there's like 5 or 6 lined up, and you know. Back in those days, my standard Friday night was at Coppermine anyway, so it all kind of lined up.
Yeah, I believe there was another.
It's funny
Tuesday.
you think.
I
Back
believe
then,
there was another Tuesday somewhere else, but I'm not sure where that would have been. But
381.
I would imagine that was probably a year down the road. And if I had to guess, it was specifically a Tuesday only with 4 sixtels, certainly not half barrels, 4 sixtels, and maybe a case of beer.
Right.
And
2 cases.
yeah,
of beer.
by the way, you're responsible for bringing like 45 people down here on Tuesday.
There you go.
That's,
And you remember it was buy one get one free pizza on Tuesday.
Buy one get one
wasn't
free pizza. Sure.
it was buy one get one free pizza on Tuesday.
There you
Always.
go. Always.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love
Well,
that.
I'm going to do something insane, and I'm actually
What are you going to do?
I'm going to drink a second lager on the show.
You're going to drink a second lager on the show?
Yeah.
Because you're waiting for me, because I'm about to go inside
Yeah,
and show you how to
'cause
make
I'm waiting for you. I'm going to drink a hoofa.
Going to drink a hoofa.
Oh,
Look
it's
at
12
that.
ounces. You can handle it.
Oh, yeah, this is going to take about 10 seconds. Well, maybe a little longer.
I was going to say you're not going to.
It's good beer.
You're not going to be drinking that too long.
Oh, I love these.
Very good beer.
When I shipped off to Rhode Island, I actually brought a case of it with me.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
You brought a case
Yeah.
of hoofa with you. Yeah. Yes, you did.
That was
Believe I was there when you bought the case.
no, you were not.
I was not.
No, you were not.
You sure?
I'm pretty certain.
I thought I was.
Nope.
Anyway.
Good story, guys.
Yeah,
I thought
but
it was good.
was that?
We
that was
usually have these asides that are pretty really scintillating.
riveting.
I feel like I'm watching It's Always Sunny right now.
Pretty much. Whatchamacallit? Brian wants to let everybody know that Sherry's excited that she recognizes a guest.
Me of all people, she's excited about.
Oh, this poor woman. You need to let her out of the house more, Brian.
The funny thing is, the pandemic is so bad at this point, she legitimately is excited every time she sees me.
There you go.
Like, the look on her face, she just lights up. And I'm like, this poor woman needs a fucking cruise.
That's great.
Oh, man.
All right. Matt says he's just waiting around to see if Scott takes a nap.
Or a Broadway show.
I mean, give it some time, Matt. It's bound to happen.
It's early.
It's early yet. Yeah, exactly. And
So,
I'm gonna go
Dave,
grab a rock.
first
glass.
of all-
I'm gonna go grab a rock glass. I'll be right back.
you grab a rock
there's-
glass, good.
yeah, I mean they're shaped appropriately for a reason.
Mr. Moyer wants to know what time the rodeo starts.
You know what? The amount of Photoshop lore that I'm giving you right now. Yeah, I mean, did you get that from your grandfather? Where'd you get that? 1927?
That is awesome.
Oh, I love this glass.
That is awesome.
From the Overlook Hotel.
Pretty much.
Moyer, how many screenshots have you taken to this point?
I would sell my soul for a beer.
You would sell
Great.
your soul for far less than a beer.
I was gonna say.
I think
So
I
you sell your
have.
soul for a sip of a beer, depending on what
The
the beer
funny
was.
thing is, there's like 30,000 entities out there. There's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
he's
they have
like
my soul.
freaking out right now.
Provolone,
This is
Parmigiano
the
Reggiano.
dumbest dog ever. He's actually made of mostly cheese.
Mostly cheese.
All right, dumb fuck.
Yeah.
All right, let me see
Moyer
that
says
glass.
screen grabbing,
Okay,
say what?
I got three, I
There
got
you go.
3 cubes in it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll allow it.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention here. This is White Russian 101.
Masterclass.
Masterclass right here.
We just got a new fridge. I half cubes now, so they take up more volume.
There you go.
So I go a little bit lower because they take up more volume. So, what kind of vodka are you using over there?
Well, I was moving, so I poured some Tito's into an Absolute bottle.
You're not
So
supposed to
this is
marry
Tito's.
bottles.
So
You're
you
not
poured a shitty vodka into another shitty vodka
supposed to-
bottle.
bottle.
I did.
This is going well. All right.
Okay.
So
We're
with the ice on the
we're
bottom,
mixing.
What are you pouring,
you
Scott?
want? I'm pouring Summum,
Okay.
which
Summum.
is a Total Wine exclusive, and I noticed they had the Summum Select upgrade for the extra $8, and I'm a
There you
sucker for the exact same liquid in a different bottle.
There. Well, it cost that much more to put that select word on the label, so.
There you go.
I'm going
So
foil.
I go up. I kind of heavy poured a little bit, but you go up about 1/3 of the glass, and then with your Kahlua, you go up the next third. That's not Kahlua. What the fuck are you drinking?
This is homemade Kahlua.
He made his Uncle Louis.
Oh God! Did you make your own milk too?
If it's got nipples, you can milk it, right?
So I also go because I like to be able to drink several of these. I go whole milk. I do not go cream.
Yeah, I go half and half.
If you're going half and half, you're going to get a little splash.
Just a splash of half and half. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There you go.
Send her for a ride. So, variants of this. Dogfish's peanut butter vodka is absolutely delightful for a White Russian.
Interesting.
I also like a splash of creme de menthe
Okay.
or a splash of banana liqueur if you're feeling, a little islandy. With my
Feeling a
hand right
little,
now, I
frisky.
probably should have done the banana liqueur because I'm in an island mode. I'm literally. You guys are interrupting. I'm booking a vacation right now,
To where?
Mexico,
Okay.
Oh,
and you're interrupting my booking process.
Gotcha.
So I have the
Mexico's
beverages
not
on
going
my mind
anywhere.
right
Another variant. I had infused some vodka with pumpkin spice.
now. Let's not use the word another variant.
Another
especially
variant,
when
yeah.
talking about my
You
vacation
use
to
variant.
Mexico.
There's a bunch of different White Russian variants is what's going on here.
There we go.
And I did a pumpkin
So,
spice version of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do that because that sounds terrible, but
It's actually
Sure.
better than you think it sounds. 'Cause it sounds awful, doesn't it?
it sounds absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm. What's
But
better?
yeah,
You
we
don't,
were
you don't like
supposed
pumpkin
to go
spice?
to,
I don't
No,
like it.
not
I don't
fair.
like it. I don't like it either. But I actually like the. I like it in a White Russian.
There you
The third.
go. There you go. Third, and a third.
Thanks for the man boob shot.
Matt says Dave
anytime.
made a basic Russian.
I would not even call that a basic Russian.
No, he means basic as in basic bitch. As far as the.
Oh
pumpkin
no,
spice
I know what he means.
Oh, okay.
But that was like some. That's basically like an off-white Mongolian you have in your glass.
No, not
Off-white
that.
Mongolian.
He was referring to the pumpkin spice one.
No, I know what he was talking about, but I'm
Okay.
still not over the homemade.
The homie Kahlua.
No,
There you go.
you don't got the cojones to make your own Kahlua, huh?
Oh, I do, but I mean, Kahlua is Kahlua. You don't mess with perfection.
That's right.
I can't disagree with that.
Yes.
No, you can't. You can't mess with perfection. All right.
All right.
So how? Let me ask you a question. Let's go back to Bolero for a quick hot.
Oh, we're supposed to
second
actually
here.
talk about things. Okay.
We could talk a little bit about.
Oh,
it.
let's talk about the company he works
The
for.
company he works for and
Ah.
co-owner of.
Let's do some
Nobody
shameless hawking.
Shameless
Nobody
plugs.
cares.
Nobody
No,
cares.
nobody cares.
How was it in the dog days of Bolero? You know, the Gypsy Brewing dog days. You know, between when you first started before
What
Carlstadt.
could possibly have been more fun?
That's exactly.
I mean, really, like when we think about it the other day, there was nothing more. We were talking about it the other day. It feels like it was so far in the past now. Like when you think about the fact that the grand opening was just barely over a year ago,
Right.
the grand opening still feels COVID skewed. It feels like last week. It still feels like a decade ago.
I was gonna say it's both.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
It doesn't. It feels like it's a minute ago and forever ago. It's ridiculous.
But like whenever we talk about things that were like, remember the dumb shit we used to do and how much it sucked? I'm sorry, I can say shit when we're on like meetings though. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. You can say shit.
It's a meeting. It's a business word.
It's a business word. Yeah.
So we were talking about
Parenting
the
101,
absurdity.
people. Parenting 101.
We were talking about the absurdity of one of our first runs out to Windridge when we did I think it was our first 90-barrel batch there. I had to drive our big truck out there. First time going out there, all the way out the PA Turnpike. It's about 4 hours, 15 minutes each way. Drive all the way out to Windridge, pick up the full load, turn around, drive it all back to the old place in Ridgefield Park.
The truck made it?
This is the current truck, the M2.
Oh, the
The
first.
Freightliner. So pick up the whole load, get it back to Ridgefield Park, meet Alex, who I just hired like 5 days earlier, who shows up at night, helps me unload this entire truck, 6 pallets by hand, case by case, keg by keg, turn around, go to Wendy's, grab some food, get back in the truck, head back out to Windridge because we're doing another run the next day. And it sounds like such an absurd thing, and it was our norm. And then I think about the fact, well, that was an upgrade from the Fuso, the truck we had before it, that Bob almost imploded on the turnpike one time by hitting a speed bump.
The best part about that truck was all the reports on Facebook of where it had broken down.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
I mean, because it had broken down everywhere. And the day that he almost flipped the Fuso, I was doing deliveries in the old Ford E350 that I picked up off a junkyard. And the Ford blew an alternator down by Blend in Hamilton. So I end up at Blend next door getting an alternator repaired in an emergency, eating a chicken parm at Blend, waiting for the alternator to get done to get back up to North Jersey and help move all the beer from the truck that's now sitting at the tow yard to the warehouse and back.
Gotta love it.
Then there was the little white van.
That's the E350. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the rape van,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
What?
The consensual intercourse van, Dave. Consensual intercourse van. It's 2021, sir.
It said on the side of it, just come in. We have beer.
It said low price candy.
Low price candy.
Very reasonable.
Oh, you gotta love
Oh,
it.
that thing was wonderful.
I can't tell you how many intros.
It was really wonderful
drops
when
we
I
have
had
out of
to turn the
this.
back seat into a bed.
Well,
And the best thing is how many times you have to take a turn with that thing with OVB cans rolling around the back of it.
The good old days.
There was always loose cans in that thing.
gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
now it's wonderful to be like at a point where I get to just train the staff, and it's like, every day when you get back, you need to empty this van out and make sure it's clean. And then, one of them is probably watching right now. Like, what do you mean Scott didn't clean out the van every day? I'm like, I don't fucking clean the van out. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm set. John Ross Kakaza wants to know if anyone spoke to Scott about the unflattering angle.
Oh no, we're just letting that ride.
And
That's
Mr.
not-
Moyer said nothing. He just said nothing. He just
John, I'm pretty sure we're at the point where there is no flattering angle.
I was going to say,
Probably
do you have a good side, Scott?
where? Yeah. What is the flattering angle? Ask Monique what your flattering angle is.
Don't worry about it.
There you go. Brian
I'm
said
wearing
there was
yoga pants right now if you really want to see.
There you go. Very nice. Brian said there was a mention of man
Wait a
boobs, if
second.
that's
You're
what you
not
mean.
wearing cargo shorts?
I'm not. The cargo shorts are work pants. I'm in my backyard. I'm in lounge attire right
Lounge
Oh,
attire.
so you're
There
not in
you
your
go.
professional attire.
now. Lounge hat, you know.
Lounge hat. No cardigan though. No cardigan. It's warm out. It's warm out.
It's at the office. I forgot it.
Gotta love it. It's Scott. There you go. There you go. Matt summed it up.
I
It's
would like
Scott.
to show everyone the level of my beverage compared to the one that Samurai just destroyed. It's fucking Tuesday, bro.
Yeah, I don't care.
Dave has a problem. He drinks way too slow. I mean,
Fast.
no,
Fast.
no, not slow at all.
Hey, John. At least he was on time today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a funny guy. Anywho, this is not. Never mind.
It's
What's,
pick on John
It's
Day.
pick on John Day. There you go.
That's every day. It's
That's
actually
every
one
day.
of my favorite hobbies.
It's one of your favorites. Been for very many years. Mr. Moyer wants to ask Monique how hard it is raising two boys by herself.
That's a valid question right there.
So that'll be. We're gonna have Monique on the show next week. We'll get all these answers for you.
I would pay to watch that one. I'm signing up right now.
Putting it on pay-per-view.
I actually think it might be an interesting show. I think we might need to do something like that.
I'm all about it.
Oh, Jesus, that would be great. Would throw in a oh my God with these comments. Throw in a another Bolero question in there for you. What was the best thing about back in the dog days with Gypsy Brewing, and what was the worst thing?
Well, let me tackle
Like
the first
legitimately
part.
the best thing and legitimately the worst thing.
Yeah, there was a lot to really enjoy about it. Just to be blatantly honest, when we're Gypsy Brewing, you're brewing all over the place. One of my fondest memories was going into Dark City on I think it was a Thursday, just to hang out, say hi to the guys, and be like, hey, if you guys ever have a tank open. We'd never brewed any place other than High Point at that point, and just making a joke, if you guys ever have a tank open, I'll fill the tank. And they were like, oh, we have a tank open on Monday. We got nothing to do with right now. And I'm like, all right, let's figure it out. And OVB to that point had just been like the concept of ours that Bob had been screwing around with for casks that we'd been playing with for years. And, we loved the idea. We brought casks out to festivals, but, we weren't able to make it a production batch. And that was like playing Chopped for brewers over a long weekend of now let's figure out how to turn this cask concept that we've had for years into a production recipe and scale it up to 15 barrels. And how are we going to do this? And it worked. And thank God it worked. It was a big success for us. And that was kind of the beginning of a lot of a changeover for us, where we were lucky to have a lot of friends and being able to brew at all these different places and talk to all these brewers, John at Elementary and Charlie at Cypress, the guys at Windridge, and then Chelsea, then Torch and Crown, and like all these places that we brewed at over the years. It was like everything that we did for 7 years was a collaboration.
Right.
And, the fun thing when you're looking at building out your own brewery, and, for those of you that haven't been to our brewery, hopefully come check it out. But I think we did a pretty nice job of building the physical brewery out and laying it out and
I don't think
getting nice equipment in there.
You don't have enough fire suppressant systems in there.
I got a lot of hidden shit that you don't even know about. Don't worry about it. It's like Air Force One. You don't need to know about my defense mechanisms.
Exactly.
But when you walk into a brewery and you talk to the brewers and the owners, and you're like, all right, so tell me everything you like about this place. Oh, well, all right, tell me everything you don't like. Tell me everything you bought that you shouldn't have. Tell me everything that you wish you didn't buy. And that really gets a conversation going. Like everyone, they love talking about the mistakes that they've made along the way. And that was awesome for us to learn a lot more as we were building out. And I like telling a lot of the story, and I often forget, not everyone likes to have their business out there, but I was very lucky to make a joke to another brewer owner who's far smarter than we are. After he said that he was kind of jealous that he'd like to go back and what's that?
Low bar.
No, fair. He'd like to go back and design his brewery from scratch. And I was like, cool, you could design mine. He joked, all right, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll be in your office on Tuesday. And, made a little trip somewhere and had the expertise of someone who's really one of the smartest brains in the entire industry kind of help us figure out what we were trying to do and how to do it the right way. So, we joke around about our hashtag during our build out. The 2 years of build out was building Bolero. There's a lot of people that were involved in building Bolero that don't get enough credit. That were really, big influences for us over the years and kind of helped us get to where we are now. So that was by far my favorite part. My least favorite part, it sucked. It's hard work, and seriously, you're at the whim of trying to make sure other people are doing things the way you want it done.
Right.
And we have a Bob Olson who's good at writing recipes, or at least we think he's good at writing recipes, and we got to figure out how's that recipe going to translate to this size brew at this brew house, and then we got to a point where we were brewing at so many different places that it kind of became a little bit easier to say, all right, we know that this style is in this brewer's wheelhouse. We know that this style is in this brewer's wheelhouse. Let's pick and choose where we're doing some of these beers based on the equipment in the brewer.
Right.
But we were never the priority.
Mm-hmm.
If your beer meant the world to you, it was still number 2 to the people that were doing the beers for you. I'm speaking it generally. We had some great partners, don't get me wrong, but shit would hit the fan, and we're planning on packaging on Tuesday, but now we're not packaging until Friday. But that beer is sold, and we have a plan for the rollout. And I remember walking into I'll say one of our partners, and we had a batch of beer that was near and dear to my heart that I had sold the entirety of very, very quickly. I go to pick up the beer, and I walk in, and the owner's like, oh, what are you doing here? And pardon? And Bob had tried calling me, but there was a service issue, and everyone's trying to give me a heads up. There was a problem. What do you mean there was a problem? Oh, we were a little light on the volume. How light? We got 16 and a half barrels in a 30-barrel batch. You got 16 and a half barrels in a 30-barrel batch? I thought he was messing with me.
That's a little light.
I mean, you've never seen fear in someone's eyes like the guy who had to tell me that he got 16 and a half barrels in a 30-barrel batch. I then had to turn around and call all these accounts and say, you're not getting your beer. It's the way it goes. We kind of learned from that, where we remember how much it sucked to be on the contract side and not be the priority. We've done a couple of contracts for people at this point, and I think we like to believe that we do it right because we learned from everything we didn't like about being on the other side of that envelope.
Sure.
Right.
Which makes sense.
It's not the fun way to do it, but I mean, not to cut you off, Dave, but in case there are people listening to this, over the years, so many people. Over the years, so many people have come to me.
At least 4.
Asked about. 4 people that I probably talked to earlier today. Anyway,
Right.
People that want advice about starting up their own brewery. I wouldn't go back and change the way we did it. Honestly, doing it this way was a smart way to operate the business and learn about how to run a larger scale operation and a larger scale distribution area, and find all of those things. And really, when you think about the time period that we opened up, I can't imagine if we didn't have this robust amount of accounts going into the pandemic.
Right.
I don't know what we would have done. We were very lucky that we had places that were ready to take more beer from us when the pandemic happened.
And you're talking all off-prem at that point. I mean, seriously, though.
Oh, I mean, you lose 100% of your bars overnight,
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, but between home delivery and the off-prem, off-prem was obviously all over the place. Places that were next to grocery stores were plowing through beer like you wouldn't believe.
Sure, absolutely.
And then, Wegmans, who was just plowing through beer like you wouldn't believe, had to start using their staff and registers for their their liquor stores just to ring up grocery customers. So
and those liquor stores technically aren't owned by Wegmans by law.
two of them are.
Two of them are. You're only allowed
two of
two in the state of New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Two of them are. The rest of them are separate businesses.
So what I'm hearing here is, do you recommend for someone who wants to open a brewery?
Because Dave wants to open a brewery.
No, I don't. I'm not that stupid.
Don't.
I'm stupid. I ain't that stupid.
I was going to say, that's a fine line there.
I'm close, but to Gypsy Brew, learn it first, and then go ahead and do. Yeah, because it was you guys. 2 Ton did the same. They had the same methodology.
I don't know if it's the right way to do it for everyone,
It was their way to
but I
do
can
it.
say if
It
I
worked
was
for
going
them.
to go back and do it all over again,
You do it the same
that's the way I would do it. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
from the other side of it, when you look at actual startup capital and what it takes to operate a brewery, there's a lot that goes into it. And if you hamstring yourself to a really small 1-barrel or 2-barrel system and signing a lease in a place that maybe not be the best place to get you highlighted to the customers in the area,
Right.
you've kind of set yourself on a path that it might be hard to expand. And when you have this smaller brewing system, it's not always easy to upgrade that equipment. It's not like everything translates.
No.
Cypress is one of the only breweries that I can think of off the top of my head who went from nano brewery to having big boy equipment like that and being able to really kind of turn it on and change it over, where they were able to go from selling, 2 barrels of beer to, this one beer, we have a 10-barrel tank that we have to brew 5 batches to fill this 10-barrel tank.
Right.
To all of a sudden, I got a 20-barrel brew house and a 40-barrel tank to fill into.
Right.
It's not an easy thing to do, but a lot of places aren't looking to be in, 700 liquor stores and 500 bars. Sometimes a lot of places want to have that more intimate experience. So it's different.
Get a little bit of the beer out there and have the customers coming in and selling it in house. Yeah, then hey, that works for some people. But yeah, you're absolutely right though. I mean, it's definitely a plus and a major advantage to getting your feet wet, learning the ins and outs, getting beers developed on other people's equipment, making the money, putting some stuff together, and getting the accounts out there. That's a big part, especially if you're going to be distributing a lot of your beer and not going to keep most of it in house.
And you guys made a splash early with a lot of your beers. You guys were killing it in beer festivals, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many awards? How many awards did you win in beer festivals?
We'd have to go look at the trophy case,
right?
We've been very fortunate. A lot of the awards that we got along the way.
You guys built a lot of your own fortune.
Yes, I mean, sure, and I appreciate you saying that, but a lot of what we did, like I said,
ever said to you,
that by far, a lot of what we were able to accomplish was, yes, I can confirm this.
Yeah.
We had a lot of help along the way to be where we are, and I think that's an important thing, and it's important for us to also, pay that forward. I try to do a lot on my part to help kind of what I call the next generation. Like I think back to the early days where it was hard for us to even get meetings at a lot of, bars, and a lot of bars didn't want to carry local beer at all. It wasn't a big thing. They weren't into it. Customers didn't want it. And, Carton and Kane were the guys that kind of came right before us and kind of started beating this path down. And I like to believe that I was part of that next generation and helped beat that same path down, get the customers more interested in local beer. It's like, hey, look, local beer can be good. Check us out, and pay that forward to the next generation. Now, here we are again. We're in a situation where we're able to kind of pay it forward to the next generation of, contract brands that are looking to do something on that side. And I field calls from other startups that are trying to figure out the way that they want to go. I'm fortunate enough that I sit on the board of the Brewers Guild, and I get to be part of shaping the future of the local industry because of that. And those are all big things for us. It's not just a matter of how we grew to get to where we are and what we're doing in the future, but really how we're growing this entire industry.
Yeah.
Local craft beer is still a fledgling thing nationwide, and it's a smaller thing really in New Jersey, And, through a lot of work from a lot of people for the past, 8-10 years, we've changed that and we've grown a lot, but we have a lot more work to do.
Sure, absolutely. Definitely got to get the word out,
And,
too.
and we had one of those next generations actually comment, right? John Ross.
Yes, John Ross did.
I feel like Ross has been around for like 15 years, so I don't know if that counts.
But how long has he actually been open?
It's funny. I'm glad that came up now because I keep forgetting to tell John this story, but I'm pretty sure before we met through normal business means, I was sitting at Maloney's drinking a beer one day, and this guy was like really, really, really excited to tell me about this stainless steel beer line that he ran from the keg room to the draft system.
Did Matt pour it for you?
It's very possible, but I mean, whoever it was,
Matt shows up in the
was
weirdest
prattling on about this stainless steel beer line for like 15 minutes. I'm like, bro, I don't fucking care that much. I don't care. I'm pretty sure it was John. So hopefully it's the first time he's hearing that story, but I hope it was him.
So, John, if you're listening, confirm or deny.
There you go. Yeah, confirm or deny that, please. Couple of comments really quick. We're talking about the ball busting that was going on about 15 minutes ago. Brian said Tuesday is podcast day, a.k.a. getting hammered day for Dave.
Tuesday is actually politics day for me usually, so this is an exchange of pace.
And Matt said it's the NJ Craft Beer Roast, he said. There you go. Mr. Moyer said that he took a day off his real job to help you guys can beer at Dark City. Pretty fun time.
It's true. I can confirm that.
Wait a second, Gary. He's got a real job?
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to
Gary works like 2 days out of every month.
The rest of his time he spends on Photoshop.
Job, but yeah.
Oh God, he's a Photoshop wizard. I love Gary. One of the funny things is it's a COVID story. Charlie's MO, balls
to the wall when it comes to
that can apply to multiple things.
Yeah, so,
I don't want to know about the rest of it.
So the COVID story.
He also said he's everywhere you want to be, but there you go.
Yeah. So with Gary, the first time that Gary and I actually physically met was one of my last days in Jersey, the day that I picked up the case of Hoofa. He was there. He knew I was there, and I was on my way out when he finally tracked me down. But then I came back a couple months later during the pandemic, pick up some more beer at the brewery.
Right.
I got my mask on, and there's this guy over there with his mask on. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. And I finally said, Gary, because you know how difficult it became to recognize people with their masks.
Sure.
And he's like, Dave. So it's recognized him through his mask. And so cheers, Gary. Keep up with the Photoshops, man. There's been some great ones. Usually,
don't encourage him.
No. I will absolutely encourage him.
I'm waiting to see what he makes out of this. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Because swells usually tends to be the target.
Usually,
almost always. No, he's done other people.
He's done a few, but yeah.
He did one. There was just out of happenstance, Bob, Scott, and I all wound up on the same flight down to Hunahpu one year. And I'm pretty certain that Gary did a Photoshop of that particular flight.
That was interesting. So,
there were other things that happened on that particular flight, that particular trip, if I remember correctly.
We're not getting into that too much, but
do you still have Scott's shoes?
Which Scott? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Not me.
No, the other Scott. No. We gave him his shoes before the police got to him.
Scott's country album will be dropping soon on Moyer Records. Thanks,
a heavy metal rap country album.
Yeah. And Gary said, LOL, 4 10-hour days at real job. That's what he does.
4 10-hour days a month.
He didn't say. He just said 4 10-hour days. That's it. So he says, and he has more pics of Scott Wells than he has of his own
I can
kid.
also confirm this. I've had this conversation with his wife.
You gotta love it. All right. Well, let's do the top threes. We got a couple things. There's a couple things I want to ask after we do the top threes, but let's do the top threes.
Before we go into the top threes, I'm going to open my third beer.
Open your third beer. Go ahead.
We're supposed to
I
only
wonder
do
if I can get Everett to pour a White Russian.
There you go. You think you can make it? Have you taught him yet?
I mean, I've showed him multiple times. For science.
You can't find a beer in the fridge. You're going to have him make you a White Russian?
Well,
Or
maybe
was
he
there no
actually
beer?
couldn't find the beer in the fridge. Maybe that
Maybe
was legitimately,
Well, because he's my kid, so he can't see what's right the fuck in front of him.
Sometimes.
There you go.
So I'm going to go with the Bull of
The
Ides.
Bull abides. Gee, I wonder why you're drinking that.
Well, because the picture that you chose to put up of Swells for the podcast, he's wearing this particular cardigan.
Of course.
And of course, there's only one glass to drink this out of.
Sacramental garb. See, you had the right glass. I'll allow it.
Yep. So this is the Bergen County White Russian glass, right? But we're going to put Bull Abides in it because, well, these guys look somewhat alike. This is the good-looking one.
That was actually the one on the glass was version 1.
Version 1. And this one's what? This is more modeled after you?
No, neither of those are actually modeled after me. They were modeled after the actual Jude character. But it was one of the first ones that Jim, he liked what he drew, but as he's kind of changed his artwork style over the years.
Jim for a second before we get to our
top 3. Jim's fucking awesome.
So there's take this for instance, what I'm wearing here, right? This is his work.
Yep.
This is going to get you guys in so much trouble with trademark infringement at some point because you guys are getting big.
Don't worry about it.
Yep. When I'm not worried about it. No sweat off my nuts. But I freaking love this shirt, and it's funny because I've got a few others of yours. Some of them got chopped up for my memory quilt.
Memory quilt.
Yeah, because I adore you guys that much. The green one with the Death Star and the X-wings with bull horns on them.
That was the Rogue Bull.
Rogue Bull
was
the
the
Rogue
first
Bull,
one
yeah.
in the series.
It was only brewed once, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of the Star Wars ones we've or Steer Wars, as I
Steer Wars, yeah.
Refer them. They've all been brewed only once. We missed episode 7. We totally dropped the ball on that.
That's not dropping the ball. That's a mercy.
No, 7's fine. 8's low.
But Rogue Bull. Okay, we'll go with there. And then
Which is my favorite of all the recent movies.
Oh my God, that is just a fantastic movie. And then you guys did the
Rogue Bull or Rogue Wars?
No, Rogue One.
Rogue One,
yeah.
Rogue One.
Dude, you're out of your element. Just
shut up, Donnie.
Yeah. You want me to tell you the last Star Wars movie I saw?
No.
I mean, I would imagine it was in the theater, and you were probably already in your 30s. So,
and then
I haven't seen anything new. The last one I saw was actually Revenge of the Sith.
Oh God!
So I've been for years. I've been saying I got catching up to do. I just never do it.
Do not look. You're not allowed to look at that poster. You're not allowed to look at it. You're not even allowed to look at that. So then there is your beer garden. Your beer.
Bolero Park.
Bolero Park, modeled after Jurassic Park, complete with velociraptors.
There might be some surprises in store this year.
Very interesting.
Don't want to know, but so that's a beautiful thing. And you've done Raiders of the Lost Ark.
We've done a whole series. We are in, I believe we're halfway through Temple of Doom.
Nice.
We did 3. We did a trilogy for Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
We did at least the first one for Temple. I'm not sure right now off the top of my head if we used the second one for Temple, but yeah, we that will continue.
And one of my favorite logos you guys ever did was the Ghostbusters logo.
Which one?
Just the one with the.
We've done 2 of those also. You're talking about just the bull logo.
Yeah, the bull logo with the.
What else was there other than that?
Yeah,
so
I don't know the other
the
one.
original Ghostbusters release, the Iron Afraid No Bulls version 1, that was one of the earlier pieces of I'll call that Jim Phase 2. When he really took leaps and bounds in what he was doing for label artwork. It was, I think, the first one that was a series of labels. Right. So that was, Slimer as a bull on the label.
Oh, right. I forgot about Slimer. And yeah.
You put 4 labels together to make one full picture.
Mm-hmm.
And he had that set up where it was, I think I was player 1, Bob was player 2, I think Jim was player 3.
Were you ready player 2?
Sure. And
you haven't done that. You haven't done that yet.
And if you put the entire thing together, it was a montage between them. And going back to that one, I remember that release. It was the same beer. It wasn't like there were 4 different versions of the beer. It was all the same beer. But people were just messaging me like crazy, like, where the fuck is label 4? I need to find label 4 to complete the collection. I'm like, yo, it's not that serious. And people are like, no, it is. And I'm like, well, shit. If people think it's that serious, yeah, look at Proby. Like, I kind of felt bad that we didn't figure out ways to get those labels to everyone. And I don't even have a label with me on it.
And none of you are slender enough to be Egon.
No, clearly not.
No.
I was Vankman because, I mean.
Well, of course you got to, yeah. You're the personality. You're the face of the brewery.
Gary said the original
this is the
GB
personality
bottles.
behind me.
There you go. Gary said he ran around to collect the whole set. He said.
Oh, you're a fool, Gary.
Because Gary works 4 days a month.
He had the time.
He's got the time in his hands, yes.
He had the time, so.
Over here.
All right, so.
Top threes.
The top threes tonight. Okay, normally we have a topic, and each of us go around and we talk about what we like.
And to be honest, Johnny and I are running out of ideas.
We got some in the hopper now, but
got a few.
one. So what we decided to do was we posted on the Facebook group New Jersey Let's Talk Craft Juice yesterday for some ideas for top threes. But we got so many really good ones that we figure we're gonna.
Well, the thing is, let's be honest here. We kind of punked the group.
We did.
We never had any intention of using any of your ideas. All we wanted were comments.
I'm pretty sure everyone assumed as much.
We wanted the comments.
And so what we're doing is we're picking our favorite comments.
Our 3 favorite comments each
from the thread.
Right.
Hey, ever ask Bobby to make Daddy a White Russian?
just make them 2.
Just make 2. Make 2. There you go. Beautiful. All right, Dave's going to give his top 3 first. Then I'll give mine. Then we'll say what we.
Because we didn't prepare Scott well enough,
so he didn't pick his top 3. So
this is as prepared as I've ever been.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, Tom. No, I'm going to start with 3. So Al Catullo is one of my favorite people on the planet.
Love Al.
And he had a comment that just went, meatballs, meatballs, meatballs. And I want to bring that up because Scott, I think you're the only person that could explain why he brought up meatballs.
You know what? I can 100% tell you why he brought it up. So Al, like myself, is a plus-sized Italian individual. Al,
I can confirm this.
Al's a bit of a regular at Paragon Tap and Table down in
regular,
New Jersey.
The regular that's an understatement.
You think?
So Paragon a couple years back, when Chef Eric Levine was the chef there, I hope it's still on the menu.
Oh, you mean the chopped champion Eric Levine?
Sure, 1-time chopped champion, multiple-time chopped contestant.
You don't hear that second part from him too often,
right?
Eric put a new thing on the menu, which was a stuffed meatball, and this fucking thing, it was like a human head. I'm talking like.
Wait a second. Yours and Bob's head, or more like John's head?
No, actually, I have a small head. If you look,
Scott's always had a small head.
Yeah.
My wife looks like a bobblehead, but probably close to her head. So, just this massive fucking meatball. 3 meat. It was the veal beef pork, incredible meatball, and it was stuffed with penne in a white sauce. And I never understood the white sauce of all things, but like it just fucking worked. And you get me and Al together, and you think, well, these 2 fucking guys could eat through whatever the fuck they want.
You 2 could eat through a wall. Yeah.
We shared this meatball, and I don't think we finished it.
That's a fucking meatball and a half.
Oh my god, it was absolutely. There we go.
There you go. Let there be light.
I put the Alexa lights on, but apparently it wasn't enough lighting, so the motion light will now.
There you go. We got a film noir thing going on here.
There you go. But goddamn, that meatball, I could eat one of those right now. Oh my god.
So
now I'm getting hungry.
My second, I've been eating caramel popcorn for like the last half hour.
Wait, I have to ask you to hold on for more important things. Can you do one of these or no? Ooh, I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. On that note, too, Matt said Al stopped by Melavino this weekend. He was impressed.
How can you
I mean,
not
how
be
can you
impressed?
not be
How can you
impressed?
impressed?
There you go. How can you not be impressed?
There you go. Done.
I got to see Serge last week, and it's the first time I've seen him in probably 2 years. What's that? Oh yeah, it's you and Bro. Cool.
On the Roblox. Hey,
Keep walking him.
There you
So
go.
I got to see
The story is
Serge.
probably much more entertaining than ours right now.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
I got to see Serge last week, and I love that guy. I mean, you talk about someone who knows his trade. Talk to that guy for
yeah.
a couple minutes.
And the passion he puts into everything he does,
Absolutely.
including raising rabbits, right? Please don't ever follow that. So anyway, so my
Yeah.
number 2 comment.
Number 2.
Okay, so this is someone who's commented on the show already. Mike Ziegler. He has demanded an apology for something that happened in Tampa.
I will offer no apology.
Were you any
But
explanation
I
as to
will
what
tell
happened
a
in
funny
Tampa?
story. I will tell a funny story. So, Hula Boot Day, I want to say 2018, might have been 2019. I don't recall.
If it was 18, I was there.
You weren't with us at this particular event, but we were
Probably
at Rock
not.
Brothers.
No, I
We'd
did
done
not go to Rock
we'd recently done a collaboration with Icarus.
I think Dougie and I decided not
I am.
to.
I can't blame you. So we're at Rock Brothers before Hula Boot the night before, and we were doing like a Floridian release party for our collaboration with a bunch of other beers, and it happened to also be
Well, who'd you collaborate with?
Ziegler's Icarus. Have I
Oh,
not
you
said
said that.
Icarus like 17 times?
You
You
did.
said it once, but okay, I missed it. You're right. You did say it.
Shameful. So
And Jason was there that year.
yeah, no, he was down with us with a bunch of his friends, a bunch of the other Icarus guys, and we were like at the end of our evening. We've been hanging out at Rock Brothers for hours. We're trying to be responsible human beings and call it a night early. So have a beer
Really?
fest the next day, and then the Ziegler contingent shows up randomly at the same bar in Ybor City, Florida. So, well, what are we supposed to do? We keep drinking. So it was Ziegler and Dave Paraday, I think it's Paraday, a couple of the other guys that a lot of you might also know from other Facebook groups. And we're having a good time, and Mike and I are chugging White Russians for no reason other than posting videos of chugging White Russians. We end up at the bar, and we decided to do some Irish car bombs. So
Oh, I love Irish car bombs.
Florida apparently
story.
has a couple of laws. They're not logical laws, but there's a couple of laws
There's
nonetheless.
nothing logical about Florida.
So we're at the bar, and we've got this row of people, including the Icarus contingent,
Mhm.
and we want to do these Irish car bombs. I forget what we were doing car bombs with. It was one of our like 12% beers. I don't remember the liqueur that we were using.
Oh, you weren't using Guinness. You were using a 12%.
Oh no, we were using something that was one of our beers. It
Oh,
was
so-
either
so
like
You were using a bad
Bullabides-
choice.
So there's
It was either
lactose.
Bullabides or like Kalishna coffee. It was either a Bolero or an Icarus big beer.
So there may have been lactose involved.
There's probably lactose involved in this case. It was very likely. So the bartender comes over and gives us our half beers and pours us the shot. Well, the half beer for everything.
You're
Pours
supposed
us
to.
the shot. And she says, all right, listen, Florida law says you cannot take this shot glass and drop it into the other glass. You can't do it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
You have to take the shot glass and pour it over and then drink it. Because if you drop the shot glass in the pint glass, I have to throw you out. So we all agree. And one guy with the Icarus contingent clearly is not making a connection with the bartender. So she continues to tell him again the appropriate rules for handling this scenario, and he just kind of smiles and nods. And we
It
all
wasn't Jason.
take
It
our
wasn't
drinks.
Jason, was it?
It wasn't Jason. And we take our beverages and we take our shot and we all pour and we all do our chug. And when we turn around and look, the one guy from Icarus chugged his beer that was confused as why he was still holding a shot of liquor in his hand. And we all just fucking lose it. And she explains to him again, like, what to do, but, like, how to do it. So she lines us all up again because now she feels bad. And we do her. And he, again, chugs the... Nope, he's still holding that shot. And this goes on, like, 4 fucking times. And we're snowball. It was something else.
And either one of your stouts or Jason's stouts, so we know we got a high ABV going.
It was a high ABV. I don't recall what it was.
That you guys are chugging.
That's
All
great.
I know is at the end of the day, Mike blames me for whatever happened. I was in bed by the time the video was posted of Ziegler throwing up in a garbage can outside of Rock Brothers in Ybor City, Florida.
Oh, so there's no transvestite prostitute involved in this.
Nothing. No.
No, there's very likely a transvestite prostitute involved in this. I'm not going to deny that. All I'm saying is I am not personally responsible for what happened to Mike that night.
It's one of the Icarus contingent responsible for what happened to Mike.
I will not confirm nor deny that.
Somebody.
Your story kind of confirms.
Look at this background behind me. It's
beautiful back there.
It's really cool. Yeah. Dave, what's your number one?
Okay, so my number one, Tom White came up with my number one comment.
Tom White.
Which is, what is your least favorite name for a Bolero Snort beer, and why are all of them no rhying in baseball?
And why are all 3 no rhying in baseball?
I don't think it's actually no rhyme in baseball. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is either. But I just found that comment absolutely hilarious.
It was a fantastic comment, Tom.
Because there's so many bad names in the bullpen genre you guys have come up with.
I mean,
let's just blame Bob. Let's just blame Bob.
Flame Bob all you want. It's different for me having to actually deal with it. We put out a beer recently that we still, as a group, do not know how to fucking pronounce.
Which one
it was
is
like
that?
Talala Cow. It was one of our sours. It was TLALCO. No clue. And like, I gotta write like all the copy for our posts and our emails and shit like that. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how the fuck to say this.
When the hell do you guys run
for me?
When do you guys run out of bovine puns?
No, I have a list on my phone, and like halfway down the list is the joke of like we ran out of bull puns, followed by the sequel. Fuck you, we didn't run out of bull puns.
Right.
And then we have a list. I've got some great puns that we came up with years ago, but like the styles that make sense don't make sense yet.
COVID-19.
That's actually pretty good.
That's actually not bad at all.
I'm probably not going to do it
because you don't want to satisfy Matt again.
Well, there you go.
I hate
in that way.
satisfying Matt.
I'm still waiting for a rap artist to come out called
you gotta
Kobe
Swells has got to be so damn drunk to satisfy Matt.
So
maybe not.
All right, so I'll do my top 3.
Because your top 3.
I'll do my top 3. They're not in any particular order. One of them is Stephanie Martin. She said top 3 places to buy cargo shorts.
So, I mean, the cargo shorts are more of the Bolero. I've basically just become
the uniform.
I'm like the beer version of Batman at this point.
Okay.
There's the me, and then there's the me that Stephanie happens to know.
It's all the shit that you have in your shorts.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to carry some equipment.
You got to carry things with you. Yeah, absolutely.
You got a faucet wrench and a Gerber, But my cargo shorts are typically supplied by Amazon. Although I now feel like because my Amazon guy probably has to piss into a water bottle, I need to change that. So I am looking for a new cargo short supplier. Okay. My non-cargo shorts
Old Navy?
typically come from Tommy Bahama or Eddie Bauer or Nordstrom. But I am in the market for a new...
We're back to you being a hipster. Okay.
There you go. Gary said you need weed pockets, he said.
It's legal now.
What is really funny, like it's almost like how people in my family or people who know me outside of Bolero just assume I drink a shit ton of beer. Like my travel agent, who she knows me as well as any travel agent should, says to me the other day, we were trying to plan this trip out. She goes, "Oh, you're going to be really disappointed with the beer selection in Mexico." And I said, "How the fuck am I going to be disappointed when I don't drink fucking beer?" So she just didn't know.
Wait a second. Is this like the first guest we've had on the show that doesn't drink beer?
I've drank plenty of beer with
Probably.
Scott over the years. I don't know.
He
I
drinks
used
beer.
to
He's
drink a lot
lying.
more beer. I drink sours and whatever. I'm certainly not drinking beer on the Mexican Riviera.
You will,
Yeah.
not,
Who
you will
is,
not.
though?
You will not see
Yeah.
Scott Wells drinking an IPA.
No.
Is what you will not. So,
No.
To that same effect, people just assume. Apparently, I smoke a lot of drugs, and I'm happy to say now that
No,
good
folks,
drugs are
he's
legal.
just like this. There's no excuse.
This is just me. This
Yeah.
is pretty natural.
And
I will, on occasion, eat some marijuana because it's delightful. It's not often.
In a brownie. I have to say, I love the way you're lit right now.
It's great.
Yeah, it is. You're looking.
Was that a double
Everett's
entendre?
assistant producer pulled this off. She's not making me a White Russian, but she got the lighting.
She got the lighting
figured
good.
out
She got the
for us.
lighting good.
Matt is loving the way you look right now.
Another one of mine is top 3 things to put ranch on. Mike Emerson said, and then he said top 3
I mean,
things
that's
to
more
put.
of a Mike question.
Well, he said top 3 things to put ranch on in etc. Oh wait, that's Mike Ziegler. Never mind.
So is that
We are, in
do-
fact, different people.
Do you put ranch on a chicken parm?
No.
No. Okay, good.
Are you seriously? Where are you
Okay.
going with that?
So I've not lost too much
My-
respect for you.
My best,
Less than I have.
my favorite comment of all the comments that were on this post was Scott's own post. You guys make me feel so two-dimensional.
Yeah, you're about as two-dimensional as the fucking Alps.
Wow, he went there.
There's a two-dimensional.
He went there. He really went there.
So
There's more to me than White Russians, chicken parms, and a great rack.
This
And a great rack.
is a fantastic
Oh
rack.
my God, that's a drop definitely right there. I tell you, we're using that. The light went off.
Oh, you are now in the dark.
Monique,
Fuck.
put the light back on, please. He left. Oh, there it is. He's back.
We got some light.
There you go. Gotta love it. That was great. The timing of that was
The timing
perfect.
could not have been better.
I know. And what were the 3 we had that we figured Scott's would be?
So the one was how many the top 3 number of White Castles.
Oh, top 3 amounts of White Castles you've eaten.
I was 100% honest there. The number one was 27. It was
27, 14, and 12.
27, 14,
27,
12.
14, 12. I know that. 27 was freshman year of college, so it was 2001, late 2001, and I was 3 shy of completing the Crave Case challenge, and I couldn't fucking do it. It was actually one of the most disappointing moments of my entire fucking life.
Wow.
I was 3 sliders away from
Someone had
completing it.
commented, "Are those your dimensions?"
Well, I mean, they're close. Let's just
We figured that
measurements.
measurements. So we figured if these were measurements, we're figuring 27 is the thickness of chest hair, 14 is the thickness of eyebrows, 12 IQ.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Oh wow. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you really want to have an IQ test right now? Because I'll fucking do it.
Scott, that was Dave, not me. Don't look at.
Yeah, John's like, I'm washing my. He just turned into Pontius Pilate for a second. There.
Pontius Pilate. Yeah, absolutely. So, but in any event, that was a good one. The number of White Castles.
That was a good one. So number 2, there was
14 is something I probably have not been. The funny thing is, the fatter you get, the less castles you can handle in one sitting.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Really,
I haven't gotten over 8 in fucking years.
Really.
Years.
It's odd, but
That is odd.
It's odd but true. It's odd but true.
Okay, so then another one was top 3 favorite chicken parms.
Top 3 favorite chicken parms.
All right, again, we're talking sandwiches, dinners.
Go sandwiches, because
Whatever.
most people
All right, so
equate it to
sandwiches.
Sandwiches, yeah.
I feel like it's been a long. The chicken parm sandwich was my road go-to, and it's been a long time. Blind Barn Bistro is going to be my obviously number 1.
Say that again.
But
And
Brothers Pizza.
and of
on
course,
Route
Brothers
33.
Pizza next door to Blend. You get it, and you bring it back over to Blend and eat it. Right.
That it just Pasquale does a fucking killer job,
That's
and
a
I
good
believe
one.
the standard there is vodka sauce. You have all the options you want, but I do believe that is the standard. And you
I
also
believe
have
you're
Where was that again?
I
I'm not-
believe you're
Brand
right.
standard.
I believe you're right.
Where was it?
Hamilton Square.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um,
That is a good one.
After that, I haven't been eating a lot of them because between where I live and the brewery, there's really not a lot of good chicken parm sandwiches, comparatively speaking. So my chicken parm consumption's at an all-time low because I don't fucking go anywhere that isn't
We need
where
to
I
get
live or where I work.
yeah, we need to get Aldi La to make a chicken parm sandwich.
Aldi Live, we
No, no, no,
went
no, no,
to
no,
one
no, no.
time.
Their sauce for the chicken parm's off.
I got to tell you, there's when I lived down in that area, because for those of you that aren't aware, I lived a mile and a half away from the brewery. Right before I found the brewery, I moved 45 minutes away. We went to Aldi Live one time, and I got to tell you, it was one of the most disappointing Italian food experiences of my entire life.
The penne vodka is fantastic. The penne vodka is fantastic.
I don't believe you.
No,
if it's anything like the service. But right across the street from Aldi Live is Vesta Wood Fired, and I got to tell you, that place
well, the
is
thing with
straight
the service is snarky as fuck, and I know what you're talking
I
about.
mean, how could it not be snarky? The waitress looked like you.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, actually.
That's more problematic than what I said.
Oh my god.
I
I would love to go in there and actually see Dave as the waitress in a skirt.
I know who he's talking about.
Yeah.
It was more of a pantsuit, but yeah.
Yeah. It was bad. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Was there a third, or did we?
There was a third, and
was
it
a
had
third?
something. It had something to do with what was it? Top 3 white Russian recipes.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
And
But
we already got.
There's only one. There's only one. It's the way Scott does it. Anyone else who does it is wrong.
Well, he mentioned a few variants. Remember, we had that.
Gotta have variants.
There are variants.
All right. So let me ask both of you. Let me ask Dave, actually. Dave, what's your... The light went off again. While Scott turns the light back on. Dave, what's your favorite Scott Wells / Bolero Snort memory, so to speak?
Oh, God. There's so many. There was one.
Just one.
I'm going to go with one.
We're an hour and a half already of this podcast. So.
And it actually became fodder for C. Gary Moyer.
Okay.
It was after one of the Hunapus. Augie took everybody out to what was the ethnicity of that restaurant?
Cuban.
Yeah, we went to a Cuban restaurant. We were drinking sangria,
And
beer,
Presidentes.
wine, Presidentes. We were drinking everything they had on the goddamn menu at that point.
You were drinking El Presidentes?
It was,
I was trying not to drink, if I remember correctly, and
you had no
Augie
options.
was not having it.
No. Augie's. So that's always been a question.
I could play the intro again if you want to hear that.
You know what the funnier story about that day, or you want Dave to continue with the
let me continue
mediocre
here.
story?
We'll get to the mediocre story, then we'll get to your story. But the question that rises: who is the bigger personality in New Jersey craft beer, yours or Augie's? Because we got two.
It's obviously Augie.
I didn't say ego. I said personality.
It's still Augie.
Still Augie. But so
it's actually part of my story. Actually, the one time.
Let me finish my mediocre story. We'll get to your awesome story. Is what became fodder for C. Gary Moyer is Scott then went and reposed underneath the sign of the restaurant.
Of course.
And there's pictures of it that Gary then managed to turn into a few different things.
With the alligators, I believe.
There you go.
With there may have been alligators involved, yes.
Alligators?
Yeah.
Yes. So it was Florida.
Well, I mean, what happens in Florida, unfortunately, seldom stays in Florida.
Stays in Florida.
So that day, that was at the older venue for Hunapoo, which was like adjacent to the hotel that we all got.
That was the Riverside Park, yes.
And I mean, fantastic. I believe that was the one that you saw that poor guy's shoes at, but that's a separate story.
Yeah, that was
so,
missing shoes. Yeah.
Hunapoo is like the longest beer festival ever. It goes for like 97 straight hours. So everyone's out of beer like 4 hours in.
Accurate.
Except for the local Florida guys, and the rest of us are. My wife came through. The rest of us are just walking around aimlessly, hammered by like hour 5 of this thing.
5?
So,
that's generous.
So, not until we're done here. Thank you, though. So there was a separate incident I'm not going to get into with some boats and a couple of young ladies that were making some bad decisions with some people that claimed to be with the brewery that probably weren't, that we had to get in the middle of. But after that, we end up back at the hotel, and they've got this amazing rooftop saltwater pool. And all of a sudden, there's just this tidal wave of fat brewers taking over this pool. So, like, you get to the pool.
Oh, Bob was there. That's right.
Oh, yeah. You get to the pool, and, like, the entire left side of the pool were just brewers from Hunapoo in the pool, and more brewers just coming out by the minute with, like, random beer and stuff like that. The other side was a wedding party.
Oh
And,
God, I
like,
remember this. This was
the people that were in the pool from the wedding party. It was like a bunch of like 16 and 17-year-old kids who were part of this big wedding that was taking place at the hotel that night. And these brewers are coming out, like, just seeing this big party atmosphere as we're all drinking margaritas in the pool. And they're just taking 4-packs of their beers and lobbing them into the pool. And no one's fucking paying attention to the fact that it's probably the 16-year-olds getting to the beers first. And part of the reason we're distracted was because Augie Carton walks out fashionably late, as Augie has to do. And he's wearing SPF 755. I mean, he is straight up. He doesn't even exist. And I make the jokes, it's like, oh, powder's here. And he was fucking furious with me. Like, he was going to the bar. He would not even get me a margarita. He was that mad at me. But he was still taking us out to dinner that night. So I decided to do the responsible thing and leave the pool, go upstairs, get showered and ready to go before Bob does. So I'm showered and ready, relaxed a little bit. And I happen to look down, like, where the fuck is Bob? Well, I happen to watch this. He got out of the pool, and I see him talking to some of the kids from, like, the wedding party. And as he's talking to them, he just talk, flops, just slams on his tailbone out of nowhere, just slips on nothing. Gets up to the room, gets showered, gets changed, whatever, ready to go out to dinner. Get in the elevator. He's a mess. I mean, straight up absolute disaster level mess. I'm sober at this point. We've got like a 3 a.m. flight home the next day. Like, all right, we're gonna go out to dinner. We have to behave at this point.
Was this a steakhouse?
So we go to the Cuban joint, meet up with you guys.
Oh, this is the Cuban joint. Yeah,
we were trying to go across the street to the hockey game, but your buddy got in our way.
We got kicked out of that, right?
Yeah. So this is before we got kicked out of that. We go to get in the elevator, and
the other
Bob's
Scott got
an absolute mess. And as we get in the elevator, after he's like limping around after he fell getting out of the pool, we get in the elevator, and it's just like the parents of the bride and people from the wedding all dressed up going to the wedding. And here we are, just fat fucking drunken brewers in Hawaiian shirts, and just taking up half the elevator. We walk in, and it's all quiet and awkward. The doors closed, and Bob looks at me and goes, "My ass hurts." And we all just fucking lose it.
That same Hunapoo elevator story. So the other Scott, he comes up to the room to get his shoes. The aforementioned missing shoes. The cleaning staff is in the bathroom. This particular Scott, not this Scott, just so everyone knows, not this Scott, exposes himself to the maid, first of all. So
sure wasn't you?
No, not me. No, and Scott knows the Scott we're speaking of, so he knows how plausible this is.
Because I've avoided him every year since.
So have I. So we then drag him the fuck out of there. We get into the elevator, and there's this lady, and because there's also, if you remember, there was like this woman power convention going on at the time. Why they had this convention going on at the same time as Hunapoo was somebody's mistake.
Poor planning.
And there's this woman, she's really well put together, immaculately dressed. And she's in the elevator
here. I'm not getting up.
There's an elevator. She gets in the elevator with us, and this particular Scott looks at her and goes, "Nice dumper."
There you go.
I have to.
Which is, by the way, what I say to Bob every Monday morning when I see him for the first time.
So, of course, I've got to try to apologize for his bad behavior. We drop him off at the corner because we got to keep him outside of like school districts. Oh yeah, that was a fun time. He got kicked out of that pool, by the way, because he
got kicked out of the pool because he wouldn't take off his belt, and he was in the pool with a belt and jeans on, and wouldn't stop smoking in the pool.
Exactly.
And like we left, and like, we're leaving the hotel to meet these idiots, and we're going across the street trying to watch the hockey game. And like as we're across the street, there's this fucking guy with the cops complaining that someone's got his shoes. We're like, yeah, we're gonna walk the long way. We're gonna go that way.
And the thing is, I was tempted to say we don't have his shoes because also next to his shoes were all his bottles of Hunapu. And if we had denied that we had his shoes, we could have kept his bottles of Hunapu.
There you go.
But I'm not that guy, which is kind of stupid. But
bottles of Hunapu.
His bottles of Hunapu. Bottles. Nice dumpers of Hunapu.
Nice dumper every Monday morning. Hey,
oh God!
Nice dumper. That's scary.
That's just an amazing term. Anyway,
on that note, to put the icing on the cake of this podcast, I just want to bring up one thing. You mentioned Icarus before. Jason Goldstein, he's been on the show before. And we brought it up with him too. The one collab you did with him, 4 years ago almost.
Oh God, really?
You remember the name of it?
The first one would have been I just blew myself.
That was the one.
That's the one we're talking about. Yeah,
that's the one.
It still might be the best name for anything ever.
Which doesn't allow you to take the high road on anything.
I was super excited to let Jason know it finally came to fruition. If you were at the brewery last week, you got our brewery only release, which was a blueberry beer that was actually like deep blue, like legit blue, beautiful blue. And it was a very limited thing because as we were circulating it, Alex opened up a valve that was under pressure and wasn't paying attention and blew himself all over the fucking brewery. And I was very excited to get the security camera footage of that to send to Jason and be like, he finally fucking blew himself.
Oh, so you're saying that's actually not? So it's actually not lactose in it that makes it creamy?
And trade secrets, Dave. Trade
secrets. Yeah. On that note, too, there was a couple of things that Dave and I had talked about before when we were pondering back and forth about possible top threes. I won't mention all of them, but just a couple of highlights.
We need to go through some of these.
Just a couple of them where obviously Dave was like top three cow breeds, top three favorite lines from Big Lebowski, top three White Russians.
What was the second question?
Top three favorite lines from The Big Lebowski.
Oh God, we could go into that one. All right.
That's a whole show by itself.
That's a whole show by itself.
Now, I'm not going to go to top three lines, but my favorite moment for The Big Lebowski was something that it hit me like 30 years later of watching that movie, when they're first talking about going to Larry Seller's house, and as they're talking about it, the all three of them separately mention it's over by the In-N-Out Burger, and then 3 scenes later. They go to Larry Seller's house. He doesn't react. They end up beating up a Corvette. All the crazy shit happens.
This is what you get when you fuck someone in the ass, yeah.
This is what you get when you find a stranger in the Alps, if you watch the TBS version.
Yes.
And find a stranger in the Alps.
The incredible scene with the guy beating up the dude's car.
The Corvette,
and in the next scene, as they're driving away from the incident, the dude's just all pissed off. Donnie and Walter are eating In-N-Out Burger. And it took me years to realize after all of the action of that scene, they still had to make him drive them to In-N-Out Burger after it all went down. It's pure fucking Coen Brothers brilliance.
That's great. A couple of the other ones were, where are we? Top 3 things not to put on a chicken parm.
Anything that doesn't belong there. When we're talking about chicken parm, it's chicken properly fried, and as parm. You lose me again. Mm-hmm. The right cheese, and at the end of the day, you could mess around with the cheese a little bit. Provolone's nice. Mozzarella works, obviously, but it's a red sauce. It's either tomato sauce or it's vodka sauce.
Right.
You can screw around with the bread. You can go garlic bread. Anything beyond that, you're not eating chicken parm anymore.
It's not chicken parm anymore.
John came up with top 3 brands of lactose.
That again, trade secrets.
And I think right after that, I came up with top 3 trademark infringements.
There you go.
Of ours or of other people's?
Yours.
No, we're not getting into that.
Not getting into that.
No, we're not
Trade
getting into
secrets. Trade secrets. There you go.
I saw one. I hope it's not a New Jersey guy. So I shouldn't be getting into it if it is, but I saw one recently that someone put out a Milky Way beer that they used like the current cover photo from Milky Way's Facebook page.
Oh, geez.
And just took that current cover photo and ran it through like a filter that turns it into cartoons and made that the fucking label.
Oh, geez.
And I lost it.
That's clever.
Lost it.
That's a trademark infringement. There you go.
So this one's a personal one for you. Top 3 places you've passed out.
There you go.
AP Beer Fest, I know, is one of them because that has been quite a lot of fodder for C. Gary Boyer.
The monorail in Disney World.
I actually heard that story. I've heard that before.
That's a good one. I'm sure there's another good one, but it's not coming in. But monorail's probably my favorite.
That's all right. Yeah, the other one. Just we don't have to go through all of these. I was just
Yes we do. Yes we do. Because John came up with a really good one. Top 3 ways to achieve having over 35 SKUs in the market at the same time.
There you go.
I mean, that's just it's more par for the course. At this point, we're dropping, depending on the week, anywhere from 2 to 5 different SKUs on any given week.
There you go.
And my favorite that I came up with, top 3 favorite conditioners for chest hair.
There you
go. Clubman Pinot.
Clubman
it's a green
Pinot.
bottle.
It's 1. There's no 3. It's 1.
It's that one.
That was good. And then that was it, really.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh no, John.
My kid is currently a dinosaur right now. By the way,
is he? Which dinosaur is he?
He appears to be in T-Rex mode, so this might affect us in a couple minutes.
So he can't.
My
reach
White Russian's like rippling right now.
Nice. So, but John's skipping one because this one's a little on the snarky side. Top 3 most insane adjuncts to placate a cult following.
Placate, not placate.
Yeah, I don't want to correct him.
Yeah, no. What have you not desired to correct me?
I mean, you're
just
fucking
tired.
Love and hate lactose at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we've grown to be more cautious on what we're using in. Like you were drinking the Bullabides earlier.
Yeah.
If you're going to emulate a White Russian, you need lactose. It is what it is. I'm sorry that you're lactose intolerant and can't drink it now. I mean, I'm trying to make something happen here. I
once mentioned to John that walking down an aisle that has a shit ton of Bolero beer will send a lactose intolerant person straight to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is the silo behind the building doesn't actually hold 2 row, but it's all lactose.
I saw a tanker truck backed up to your brewery at one point, and I just assumed it was a lactose delivery.
Just cows on a flatbed.
Cows on a flatbed.
Really, like my favorite adjuncts. I love hazelnut. It's something that we don't play around with.
You need to get more hazelnut.
Love hazelnut and beer.
We've drank hazelnut beers on the show.
We have.
A Smug Brulero. So Adrian would be interested in that one. Mm-hmm. Oh no, Brutella,
not Brulero. Brutella.
Yeah, Brutella because he's Brulero. Brutella, that's a hazelnut beer from Smug up in Pawtucket.
Pawtucket, yeah, Pawtucket. So anyway, but we can go on and on. There's so much to talk about, but I definitely think we should look into doing the Monique show. Definitely think.
Oh God, yeah.
Definitely think we should put that together.
Having Monique Wells on the show to talk about having to try to raise Scott Wells.
There you go.
Oh, she wouldn't know what to do without me.
That'd be a beautiful thing. So, all right.
She surprised me this week I got home yesterday, and knowing that it was something that I wanted that I would never buy for myself, she bought me a very nice Samsung watch.
Very nice. Very nice.
And it was like the nicest thing, and I'm blown away by it. And she can't hear me right now, so we can talk about it. I can be said
You're getting no credit for
in
this.
front of her. No, I don't do credit.
I'm going to
the
edit
opposite.
this one part out and send it to her.
So I assume your Samsung watch does not calculate steps.
Oh, it definitely calculates steps. I got
So
a
all
35-minute
them.
workout in today.
So 7 steps.
Fuck you, man. I did a nice HIIT workout today.
There you go.
HIIT.
I'm getting
What's
yeah.
HIIT?
High intensity interval training.
There you go.
Sorry, didn't mean to
I mean,
laugh
I
too
will
hard.
outplank you whenever you want, old man.
You're probably correct.
That's got
on
to.
that.
You know what? That's the end of the Monique show. Monique's on the whole show, and then it's Dave and Scott planking. I want to see that. Got to see that. That's good.
No one wants to see that.
That's good. That's good entertainment right there. That's bang for your buck. So anyway, all right. Well, on that note, we've talked everybody's ear off today. An hour and 45-minute podcast.
And John is hungry as fuck because he doesn't eat.
He doesn't
until
have
after
a
the
chicken
show.
parm in front of him. Yeah,
I
there
know,
you
No,
go.
he's got chicken. He was supposed to have a chicken parm from.
I was supposed to. Yeah.
We were supposed to do. He was supposed to do this, and then I was supposed to do this.
We were going to pick up our
supposed-
chicken parms at the same time, but I never got to order mine.
because he was too busy talking about the fire with his neighbors.
And the fact that he was already 10 minutes late to his own show.
Yeah, always. 10 minutes. That's actually early for him.
Actually, we started the show 8.5 minutes late, so that's perfect. That's good time.
That's the earliest
That's really good time.
we've ever started the show,
There you go. So.
and that will speak to his respect for you, Scott.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
3
I
ounces.
tip my hat to you. And Gary Moyer, just to throw another comment up there before we close the show out, he has averaged 5 minutes of exercise over the last 7 days.
That's probably accurate.
Mhm. There you go. Gotta love that. Anyway, all right, Scott, don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you after the show. We'll just wrap up the show.
Wait, I have to stay?
Well, for a second, if you want.
You
You don't
got-
have to, but we're just
You've got
talking
to
for a
suffer
second.
through his. He's got this end of the show routine.
So
where
stop
he-
talking and let me do it.
So we're going to suffer
Okay,
through
well,
this.
guess we're going to be watching? Me in the bathroom.
Anyway,
Yeah, this is where my bladder starts to scream at me.
Scott, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
'Cause you're
It was
all
a great
Dave.
time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No,
Absolutely.
you know we love the
Let's
fuck out
do
of
this
you.
again real soon, and by real soon I mean never again.
Like November, we'll do something like that. So we'll do a live broadcast from the brewery one day.
Maybe
There
on
you
the
go.
anniversary.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
live from the brewery.
We'll do live from the brewery one day. That'll be good. Anyway, we're
Hey,
wrapping the
Dave,
show.
John's been signing off for 7 minutes.
I would have been off already, but
It'll be about 10 more minutes after this because
we'll wrap the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to
welcome
visit
to
our
the whole
website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 6:30. And for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Scott, thank you so much for coming on.
absolutely.
Kudos to you and Bob and Adrian and Alex and the whole crew at Bolero Snort. We appreciate everything you do.
And Brian's investment.
And yes, and of course Brian Alt, definitely a big member there, part of it. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great week and an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.